Okay, let's start. This class we are going to discuss about the basic concepts. So, what we are going to do in the coming sessions, we are going to discuss various basic concepts of OCI. That will help you to enhance your OCI conceptual knowledge, and at the same time, if you want, you can appear for OCI certification exam also. The infrastructure architect associate or whatever it is, you can enroll for that once we complete all the classes. But our ultimate goal here is that to get the confidence in OCI concepts rather than just clearing the exam, so that whenever you get a chance, most of us so far, we did not get the opportunity. Maybe you did not get the opportunity so far to clear, to work on OCA environment. Unless and until you work on it, only then that will boost your confidence. But that will not happen to. That is not that is not possible for everyone as of today. But I am sure that all of the customers, they are migrating their environment to OCI, and so very soon you will get an opportunity to work on OCI environment. So that time you should be ready, right? So that is our ultimate goal here, and that is our ultimate goal. So keep that in mind. We are going to we are planning to seek the basic concepts of OCI. Okay. So this will definitely give you edge on the basic OCI concepts, and coming classes slowly we will get into some advanced concepts. So today it is going to be complete theory. Unless and until you know the concepts, there is no point of working practical things, right? Even I have seen that many DBS, without knowing the conceptual knowledge, directly they will start adding the data file and all those things, but end of the day they don't know what they are doing. Okay, so that is very important. So today we are going to discuss about a region, availability domain, and fault domain. Only these three, very fundamental, basic. Okay. So, there was a time, right, in 10 years back, the customers were managing their own data centers, and now that is that's all legacy environment, right? So now all the customers, whether they use OCA or any other cloud, they want to get rid of their data centers for various reasons, right? Let us not get into that. Okay. Now OCA concepts, right? So region. What is region? Region. Let's see. End of the day, you are going to keep your VM in one of the data center. Though you are not going to maintain, your ultimate goal is to place your VM, or your ultimate, not place your VM, right? Ultimate goal is to make use of the VM which is available in some data center, right? So this region ADFD, it is something related to the data center. Now region is a localized geographical area, and it can be it can be one country can have multiple region, or one country can have only one region as of today. A region can be one region may be in one country and another region may be in another country, or it can be separated by continent as well. Okay, so it's totally a geographic area. When they started the OCA, they started with Oracle started with very few OCI all around the world. But now, since the customer demand is high, they are coming up with, they are building up a region all around the world, because Oracle has to support its customer base all around the world. That means I cannot force the customer who is in Singapore. His business is completely based on Singapore. I cannot force him to keep his VM in Ashburn, right, in US, because that could be due to some legal, some data compliance. Customer may not. So they may say, unless and until we have a region in our country, okay, so they cannot come to the OCI. So now that is the reason Oracle is opening a region in various parts of the world. Okay, even in India, if you see, we have a region in Mumbai and we have a region in Hyderabad. As of today, we have 2 regions in India itself. Same like that, we have different regions all over the world: Ashburn, Phoenix, Frankfurt, Singapore, Saudi Arabia, right? In Germany. So you name any country, and now Oracle is almost have their presence there. Okay. So what is the advantage of the customer? For having this multiple region, what is the advantage? As I told you, it is because of legal issues. Customer cannot keep their data outside of their country, and also always it is accessing the data from your region which is in your country, or which is something close to you. It is always better than accessing your data through network. See, definitely Oracle is giving a very high bandwidth network, low latency network, but still I prefer to access my data from the nearby region. So it is always, customers will prefer to have the region near to their business center. Okay. So, but region is a logical entity. It is not the physical. Now, so that means you cannot keep your compute instance, or you cannot keep your VM only in OCI and calling it as an instance, right? So don't get confused by the Oracle instance, database instance, right? So compute instance means it is nothing but a VM, right? So you cannot place your compute VM, compute instance into the region, right? Because it is a logical entity. Okay, so each region can have one or more availability domain. Each region can have one or more availability domain. As of now, maximum 3. Okay. For example, I know Ashburn region has 3 availability domain. So availability domain is nothing but your data center. Okay. So you can say in Ashburn region has 3 data centers, totally separated by each other, but it is connected with very high bandwidth network and low latency, of course. So performance wise, you don't find any difference, getting the data from one AD and getting the data from other AD, because connected with very high bandwidth network, but they are separated by each other. Okay, so what you can do, you can use the availability domain for your disaster recovery purpose. You can keep your data guard in the you can keep your primary database in the one availability domain, and you can keep your data guard environment, data guard compute instance into a data guard DB system into another availability domain. So if the data guard AD1 has three data guard, AD1 has region has three ADs. So if availability domain has some issues, of course you can retrieve the data from availability 2. Okay. So that is the main advantage of ADs, right? And some resources are region specific and some resources are AD specific, availability domain specific. Anyway, we are going to discuss a lot about the resources. For example, VCN, Virtual Cloud Network, is a region specific. You will create a virtual cloud network for the entire, which covers the entire region, not your availability domain. What else? Whatever n number of resources you have, but whatever coming to my mind, let me tell you. Volume backup, your load balancer, NAT gateway, what else? Checklist, subnet. It can be region specific or it can be AD specific. That we will discuss later. Okay. So you have resources which are specific to region, and there are some resources which are specific to your availability domain. Okay. And availability, a compute instance, your volumes, storage volumes, these are all AD specific resources. Okay. So AD is nothing but a data center, it's a physical entity. Region is nothing but a logical entity. One region can have one or more availability domain. Now Oracle is coming up with various regions with only one availability domain, because as I told you before, the demand is high. They are in a pressure to come up with regions in different part of the world, at least one with one availability domain, so that at least they can attract the customer base in the respective region. Then what they will do, based on the customer demand, and they will come up, they will extend their region with one or more availability domain. It is purely depend on customer demand. Okay. And if all the resources, resource availability, let us talk about resource availability. So either before I subscribe to any region, should I do any verification that what are all the services or what are all the resources supported in the region? Normally Oracle, all core services like your compute instance and your networking, storage, DNS, databases, these are all core services. All these core services are available in all the regions. So you need not do any verification on that. But if there is any extended services like containers and all those things, maybe you have to verify. Then first, whenever Oracle comes up with the region, come up with the region in a specific area, they will come up with the core services. Then based on the customer demand, they will extend it. Okay. So they may extend the service availability, or they may come up with availability domain. It purely depends on customer requirement. Okay. So what we have seen, some regions are, some resources are region specific, some resources are AD specific, some resources are cross region specific. For example, compartment, you will learn everything later. Federation resources, dynamic groups, all these things are cross-region resources. And also, you should not worry about your security. All your data transfer between AD or between region are encrypted. Okay, Oracle is so concerned about their security. Okay, so it is highly encrypted, fully encrypted. So you need not worry about your security. Okay, so normally the customers will, subscribe to the region which is near to them. So that they call it as a home region. And some customers, they will subscribe to more than one region because they may want to keep their data guard environment in the separate region rather than AD. Because distance wise, if you see regions, one region may be in one continent, other region may be in other continent. So if it is very sensitive data and you don't want to get hurt in case of earthquake and all this, because of all these natural calamities, in that case what you have to do, some customers prefer to subscribe for multiple regions and they will keep their data guard set up in the different region rather than in the different availability domain. And one more concept you should understand: REM. REM is nothing but logical collection of your regions. Okay. For example, you have a commercial region that comes under one REM. You have government regions. So large, commercial REM and government REM. So each REM is associated with one OC, that region ID. I think for commercial it is OC1, I believe. Okay. So that is called REM. That is again, it is a logical entity. Okay. And what else? Yeah. Next we have to discuss about fault domain. So one region can have more than one or more availability domain, maximum 3. Now one availability domain can have one availability domain has 3 fault domain. What is fault domain? Fault domain is nothing but grouping of your resources. For example, Oracle always recommend to choose different fault domain when you launch your compute instance, because when you are launching your compute instance in AD1 and you are launching another compute instance in AD1, both are in the same data center. Physically they are in the same data center, but logically again they are grouping. When you try to launch your compute instance in fault domain 1 and another compute instance in fault domain 2, Oracle is guaranteeing you that they are not going to spin off this VM in the same physical hardware. Okay, so tomorrow some issues happen to that hardware, it is going to affect only one of your VM because you have placed your another VM in the another fault domain. So it is always better to choose your, so you can get rid of at least this hardware issue, power supply issue, all those things. You can avoid if you are placing your resources into different fault domain rather than one fault domain. But fault domain, all these fault domains are in the same availability domain, but logically they are grouping it, different networking, so that you can avoid that. If any problems happen to one of the hardware, if you spin off your VM, if Oracle is going to spin off the 3 of your VMs in the same fault domain, and there may be a chance all these 3 VMs you may get it from the same physical hardware, right? So to avoid that, Oracle is giving you fault domain. So you can choose. Even if you don't choose, Oracle will try to place it. Automatically it will choose it. Okay. But it is better to choose it so that we have complete control. Okay. So and one more thing, tenancy. That also may be. So tenancy is again a logical entry. When you are subscribing for OCI account, they will allot you a tenancy. Okay, tenancy is nothing but it's a restricted area, and it's a partition. It's a partition where you can manage your resources, OCI resources. Using this partition, you can manage your resources. Okay, so your tenancy can access the resources which can be available in the same run. Okay, so so you can if you are creating the tenancy, you can that tenancy can access the resources which are available in the same commercial run. The region can be anything. It can be Ashburn, it can be Singapore, or it can be any other Saudi Arabia or Hyderabad or Mumbai, whatever it is. Okay. So these are all the things just to start with, and so when you are logging in, you will find when you are logging into your console, that we will see later, you will find this is your home region now. So when you are logging in, you will land into home region. So this is Ashburn, and I have I subscribe to Ashburn as well as Phoenix. Okay, multiple regions because Ashburn I'm keeping all my primary resources, and Phoenix I'm keeping all my data guard resources. And when you are launching the compute instance, as I told you, it will ask which fault domain. So availability domain AD1 and which fault domain you want to do. Okay, this is how you will get it. So this is a basic concept. So just go through that, and in the next class we will I have not decided what else, so I will come up with some other topic like compute instance, or I will update you on that. Thank you.